Wednesday. Sign up for the best series right now. Get an entire world of sports, including NASCAR. Go to xmradio.com/best. Sign up today. Next update, 30 minutes away on MLB Home Plate. Sirius 210, XM 175, Lamont, Germany.
All right, guys. Back in a minute. Ten seconds. All right, guys, stand by.
It's Fantasy 411 with Corey Schwartz and Corey Gottlieb on Home Plate, XM 175 and Sirius 210.
Yep, everything you heard is correct. I'm Corey Schwartz. This is Corey Gottlieb right next to me. You're listening to the MLB.com Fantasy 411 on MLB Home Plate. We want you to get in touch with the show, okay? Here's what you do. Call 866-MLB on XM. That's 866-652-6696. We have some callers in the queue, and we will get to you guys shortly, so stand by. You can email the show, fantasy411 at SiriusXM.com. We will get to at least 8 emails in this show. That is my personal guarantee to you. You can check out the blog, the exclusive home of Pitcher Ditch. That's at fantasy411.mlblogs.com. As if that's not enough, there's Twitter. Not one, but two, but 3 different Twitters. You got team. That's a good problem to have. That's not a bad problem. You get a lot of Yankees, a lot of Red Sox, the best hitters on the Rangers, guys, a lot of Phillies. That's a good problem to have. You don't want to have too many Pirates, too many A's, too many Royals. That's a bad thing. Cruz and Hamilton, I think, is a good thing. So if those guys are your best hitters, I think you get them in the lineup.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, thanks for the call. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of confidence. So let's move right along the chain. Joe in Chicago, thank you for calling in. How's it going, Joe?
Hey, just speaking of that last call. focus on a lot is, what do you think about Soriano in the second half? Because we have a retention league, and I've had Soriano for years, and it's been a no-brainer. He's just been incredible for years. Even when he's been hurt, he's come back and really just got on fire for weeks or even months at a time. Boy, I just don't see the same Soriano this year, and I'm halfway thinking of dumping him, not dumping him, but maybe seeing if I can get believe it or not, I'm talking to a guy about getting Longoria, which would be 6 Braves then on my team.
Well, I'll sum up my thoughts on Soriano for you in 2 words. Woof, woof. No, I'm kidding. No, I've never been a big Soriano fan. I think he's always been a lot more reputation than reality. But it's hard.
Sox Baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Sullivan Tire, Bermuda Tourism, your Boston BMW dealers, Land Rover, Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network, and by Toyota's official website for deals via Toyota.com. Hey, good evening once again, everybody. Cloud cover at Fenway Park. It's also cooled off here a little bit as the Red Sox and Orioles get ready for Game 1 of this 3-game series. And again, it is our pleasure to have from Yahoo Sports along with us Gord Needs. And Gord, welcome to the broadcast booth.
You know, Don, it's interesting to be here on a weekend, of course, where Dennis Eckersley and Jim Rice are up in Cooperstown for the Hall of Fame inductions. I recall the last time Jim Rice was pinch hit for here by Jody Reed, and it caused quite a calamity. I hope this night goes a little smoother for us.
Things will go much better, I promise you, as the Red Sox take the field tonight, getting ready for this series opener against the Orioles. As the Sox take the field, let's check out the Baltimore Orioles starting 9. Brian Roberts leads it off. He is at second base with Adam Jones in center field. It is Nick Markakis in right, Aubrey Huff at first base in the cleanup spot. Nolan Reimold is in left field with Luke Scott, the DH, batting 6th. Melvin Moore, third base, bats 7th. Matt Wieters does the catching, batting 8th. And Cesar Torres is the shortstop for the Orioles. He bats 9th. On the mound tonight for the Red Sox is Brad Penny. And Penny comes in with a 6-4 mark, 5.02 earned run average. He has not won since June the 17th against Florida. And in his last outing at Toronto, he would go 5 innings, giving up 6 runs against the Blue Jays, striking out 3 and walking a batter, as tonight marks his 19th start of the season. Defensively for the Red Sox, from left to right, Jason Bay, Jacoby Ellsbury, J.D. Drew in the outfield. Mike Lowe at third base, Jed Lowry at short, Dustin Pedroia at second, Kevin Youkilis at first, and Jason Varitek does the catching for Brad Penny. Red Sox are 8th in fielding percentage in the American League to start the day, as the defense is brought to you by TD Bank. Well, the umpiring crew, Paul Schreiber has the plate, Paul Nauert at first base, the crew chief. Here's Joe West, he's at second base, and Ed Rapuano is the umpire at third. As I mentioned, it is cloud covered here at Fenway. It rained here much of the afternoon. They're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. You enjoy the game. And here is that weather, as it is 71 degrees and this mostly cloudy situation expected for the rest of the evening, as the breeze coming in from left field at 5 miles per hour to start this contest tonight. The Red Sox are in their alternate red jerseys. First with the hanging socks tonight on this Friday night. Yeah, just happy to be home, Gordon, after what was a very tough road trip for the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean, when you've had the kind of start they've had since the break, seeing Fenway Park and having 35,000 people with your back is a good way to try to get out of this funk. Clearly, they're not going to hit 220 for the entire month. At least they better hope not, or the distance between themselves and the Yankees is going to get a lot bigger.
And, of course, the addition of Adam LaRoche as he gets here today. And, of course, if you did not hear about it, designated for assignment is Mark Kotze. LaRoche not in the starting lineup for the Red Sox, and I imagine he will be tomorrow. First pitch of this one from Brad Penny. This is for ball 1, and we're underway.
And I think Penny has to show that he can go deeper into games than he has for really the last month. He hasn't won since June 17th, and he's got to break through that 5-inning barrier.
1-0 missing high, and it's 2-0. Roberts, Jones, and Markakis here in the first inning. The 2-0 pitch is in there for strike, and it's 2-1. The Red Sox hoping to take advantage, not only being home, but a favorable schedule here in the very near future. You get the Orioles in here for 3 games, then the Oakland Athletics for 4, and then it's to Baltimore for a series for 3. So within that stretch, you would hope the Red Sox would be able to make some ground up here in what has been a very tough road trip, well documented.
And for all the positive changes the Orioles have made, Don, they can't win in their division. It's the most bizarre thing, really, to me. 2-25 this year versus the East on the road. We know they've lost their last 9 against the Red Sox here.
This one fouled off by Roberts back to the screen, and Dave Tremblay, of course, the manager of this Orioles squad. And while they are young and appear to be headed in the right direction, they certainly made some very good moves, and they traded Tejada, got some good players back. Traded Eric Bedard, got some good players back, and this youth starting to come together. You have some all-star type players already on the team. Of course, Brian Roberts, one of those guys. Strike 3 for Brad Penny. Roberts strikes out to begin the contest.
Penny getting the outside corner with that fastball, and maybe that's a good sign that Paul Schreiber is going to have a generous zone done.
You know, Brad Penny, who has thrown so many fastballs, and of course the breaking ball from time to time for Penny. Predominantly a fastball pitcher, and that's largely the reason that pitch count has been so high so often. And around the 5-6 inning effort, so many foul balls during Penny's outings, it appears. As Adam Jones stands in and takes ball 1.
And done with us being a week away from the trading deadline, the Orioles have a dugout full of players that are wondering about their future. There are a number of guys that could well be moved. Primarily, I think the closer, George Sherrill, is attracting the most attention.
Fouled off to the right.
This guy's not going anywhere as Penny hits 97 on the gun. I think we've seen Adam Jones take dramatic strides. I think it was big for him, as Heidi alluded to in the pregame, that he was on the All-Star team this year. The Orioles people, bench coach Dave Joust has compared him to Kirby Puckett and Frank Robinson in demeanor. I mean, this is a guy they look to for leadership going forward.
Elevates and a swing and miss as Penny's got the good velocity going tonight. 97 out of the gate, and it's 1-2.
I believe that's what Eck would refer to as high cheese.
Absolutely right. Here's 1-2. Here's chop foul. There's the curveball, and it hangs at 1-2 to Jones.
You know, we all know how Eck has his own vocabulary, Don, but Ricky Henderson, who's going into Cooperstown this Sunday with Jim Rice, also known for Ricky Speak. Henderson went to Laney College out in the Bay Area and attended a speech class for a couple of weeks, had the kids there critique his induction speech Sunday. I think that's terrific. Good for him.
I really look forward to both speeches really on Sunday, as this one just misses. Penny wanted it. And at 97 again, the count evens at 2-2. Didn't appear to miss by much, but the Amica pitch zone says it is inside. Now, Penny has enjoyed pitching at home so far this year for the Red Sox. This one dribbled back to him. He'll bare hand and fire for out number 2. Adam Jones is disposed of, 2 down. So 2 down for Nick Markakis. Of this young outfield for the Orioles. Markakis at 295, 11 homers, and 63 runs batted in. Back to Penny, though, at home. He is 4-1 in 9 starts at Fenway Park this year. On the road, not as kind. 2-3 with a 5.51. Markakis takes strike one.
And you remember, Don, I think it was his second start for the Red Sox. The Orioles roughed him up pretty well. I think they pinned an 8 spot on him back in April.
Yeah, you're correct. Just a 3-inning effort that time against the Orioles, giving up 8 runs. That was one of the games the Red Sox came back, and he ended up with a no decision in that outing, remarkably.
They've had some wacky games between these two clubs. Obviously, the 10-1 game that Smoltz pitched, and then the next night when tonight's starter, Orioles starter Brad Bergeson, took a 4-1 lead into the 9th inning and lost that one.
Thought he had it all taken care of. Red Sox coming from behind. Markakis fouls it off to the left, backing out of play. 98 that time for Penny. So this is definitely the hardest we've seen Penny throw right out of the gate. He has gotten up to 97, 98 on the gun during the season, during his outings, later on in the outings, but he's got it right out of the gate tonight, throwing hard.
Reminds me a little bit of the way Josh Beckett sometimes approaches the first inning, just pumping fastball after fastball, establishing fastball command, and then mixing in his off-speed stuff as he goes later.
1-2 and a hack, fouled off at 98. Well, he's gotten quite a bit of run support during the season. 64 runs for the Red Sox in his 98 in 2/3 innings pitched this year, an average of 5.84 runs per 9 innings. It's 11th highest in the American League. Tim Wakefield actually leads the league in that category, getting over 7 runs a game. This is to left, and Jason Bay headed back, but it's going to grab the wall. Bay quickly on the ricochet and throwing the brakes on is Markakis at first. It's a 2-out wall ball single for Nick Markakis.
Another fastball. Markakis goes with the pitch, Don, and hits it into the left field corner. Bay retrieving it quickly, getting it back into the infield. Got to tell you a great story about Brad Penny and Manny Ramirez. I'm number 24 tonight. Manny Ramirez, of course, 24. During the 2003 World Series, when Penny was pitching for the Marlins, on the day he was to pitch, Manny called him looking for tickets. Penny confirmed the story to me when he came over from the Red Sox. I thought it was just one of those stories in the Manny lexicon, but it did happen. Manny was on his own for tickets for that game. Brad said he was tapped out.
Well, the LA Dodgers atop the National League West with a very secure 9-game lead at the moment, as the Dodgers have kind of run away with it. 1 missing outside. And it's a ball to strike to Aubrey Huff.
And Aubrey Huff, of course, is one of the Orioles that could very much be on the trading block for this last week. Teams looking for a first baseman, left-handed bat. You know, Nick Johnson in Washington is a guy that the Red Sox had a lot of interest in. Ultimately, they opted for LaRoche. Huff's another piece that could potentially go.
Breaking ball missing, 2-1. It certainly would not be his first rodeo in that regard. He was traded at the trade deadline from Tampa Bay initially.
And the Red Sox have always liked him because of his ability to go the other way and play the wall. First time I think we've seen Penny throw back-to-back off-speed pitches tonight, Don.
Curveball outside, and it's 3-1. This will be the 22nd pitch of the first inning for Brad Penny.
Huff's been struggling a little bit lately. Only 1 home run in his last 19 games.
Hunter goes at first. Huff with a swing and a miss. Throw from Varitek, who's not going to be in time. The team certainly taking their liberties on the Red Sox. As far as stolen bases go, we saw 6 in the last game of the Texas Rangers series, and Markakis able to take second here. It's only the 3rd stolen base of the season for Nick Markakis.
And yet the 79th attempt against Jason Varitek, who was only thrown out 7 guys. And of course, that doesn't all fall on Tech. The pitchers have something to do with it, but and there we see the end of the inning with Huff taking swinging and missing in strike 3.
Second strikeout for Penny. Red Sox coming up.
Working on the job or in the yard, you never know where you might find electricity. But one thing's for sure, if you're not careful, it'll find you. Stay away from power lines and anything they touch. Don't reach them, don't dig them, don't touch them. Visit don'ttouchthis.org to learn more.
When everybody says it's too good to be true, it usually is. Except with Hyundai Assurance. Because now we're giving you something else you need. Gas. A whole year's worth. Buy select new models and you'll pay just $1.49 a gallon. No matter how high prices go. Plus, in a new Elantra, you'll get up to 33 miles per gallon for even greater gas savings.
Right now, Hyundai will advance you the government allowance if your trade-in car qualifies. So you'll pay as low as $8,620 for a new Elantra.
Right here. It's easy. It's the money you could be saving with Geico.
Whether you consider it a cruiser or a clunker, you can turn it into cash. Get to your Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer and get up to double the government's cash for your old car. Now get up to $4,500 for your old car, plus up to an additional $4,500 cash allowance. No turn-in? No problem. Your Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer guarantees everyone up to $4,500 cash allowance on virtually every model. Get to your Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer on the double and get double cash for your old car.
Back at Fenway Park as we head to the bottom of the first inning. And Jacoby Ellsbury leading it off for the Red Sox. Ellsbury taking strike one from Brad Bergeson on the mound tonight for the Orioles. 17 starts, 6-4 with a 3.51 earned run average. And certainly one of the bright spots this season for the Orioles, no doubt. Did lose his last start against the White Sox, 6 innings, giving up 2 runs on 10 hits in 6 innings.
He was cruising in that game, Don, until Wigginton missed a throw, an easy throw to first base. Next batter, Jermaine Dye, hits a home run, and he gives up the 4th spot in the inning.
Well, Jacoby Ellsbury, quiet on the trip like many of the Red Sox. He was just 1 for 16 on the trip. Certainly the Red Sox hoping to get the offense back going. That was one of the biggest surprises of the road trip, was the lack of offense and how quiet the Red Sox were in that department, both in Toronto and in Texas. Ellsbury starts off the homestand well with a ringing single to center. But tonight we have a special edition of Junior Announcer Night. Here is Tyler Warfield of Ponte Vedra Beach with the Red Sox lineup brought to you by Chevrolet.
Leading off for the Boston Red Sox, in center field, Mr. Jacoby Ellsbury. At second base, Mr. Dustin Pedroia. At first base, Mr. Kevin Youkilis. DH, Mr. David Ortiz. In left field, Mr. Jason Bay. In right field, Mr. J.D. Drew. At third base, Mr. Mike Lowell. Catching, Mr. Jason Varitek. And at shortstop, Mr. Jed Lowry.
Well done, Tyler. As the Red Sox here batting in the first inning, Jacoby Ellsbury at first base with a single. Dustin Pedroia the batter.
How about those manners, Mr. Orsillo? Mr. Warfield, as polite as they get.
Very nice. There he is. There's Tyler.
Ponte Vedra Beach.
Nice place.
Obviously not out in central Mass, West.
No,
that's where
Florida.
My neck of the woods. There you go.
Pedroia waiting on a 2-0 pitch. Off goes Ellsbury. The pitch, a ball. The throw off the mark takes Roberts off the bag. And Ellsbury steals second base. What a difference it makes when Jacoby Ellsbury can get on base.
Great jump, Don. Really, Wieters has no chance here. It's Ellsbury goes in with the head for a slide.
He has now stolen 25 of his last 26 bases. A 3-0 to Pedroia, who takes all the way for ball 4 and heads down to first base. Check out the Orioles defensively behind Brad Bergeson from left to right across the outfield. Nolan Reimold in left. Adam Jones in center, Nick Markakis in right, Melvin Mora at third base, Cesar Torres at short, Brian Roberts in second base, Aubrey Huff at first, and it's Matt Wieters doing the catching for Brad Ferguson. Ninth in the American League are the Orioles defensively. 2 on, nobody out, and Kevin Youkilis the batter. So he takes ball 1 outside. Not the start Ferguson wanted to have here.
No, he's missing all over the place too, Don, and coming off a loss and coming into a place where they haven't won. You can't afford a first inning like this.
The Orioles are just 15 and 32 away from Camden Yards. And a losing record, obviously, within the division. They're 13 and 22 against American League East teams. 2-0 to Kevin Youkilis. There's a strike, 2-1.
And that's where Ferguson is going to be with his fastball, Don. He's not a burner. He's certainly not going to be in the 95, 98 range like Brad Penn. He'll work 89, 92, then come at you with the two-seamer as well.
Strike over the outside corner that time on the slider, and it's 2-2. Youkilis has enjoyed his time against the Orioles head-to-head in 7 games. Swing and a miss. Ferguson needed that. Strikes out Youkilis for the first out here in the bottom of the first.
So as the spinner comes inside on him, Don, and puts him away for the first out of the inning.
So the first strikeout of the night for Ferguson. 1 out, 2 on. And a chance here for David Ortiz.
You know, when you're talking about a pitcher as young as Ferguson is, 23, I think it is an advantage that the guy behind the plate, Matt Wieters, although a rookie himself, is someone that did work with Ferguson coming up through the system.
Ortiz fouls it off. It does appear that the Orioles are heading in a good direction as far as the youth in which they have.
I love the core of this club. You know, with Wieters, Adam Jones is going to be a perennial all-star, I think, in center field. The foundation piece, of course, is Markakis in right field. They signed him to a $66 million deal before the season, and they got some good young pitching in the pipeline.
We do have some veterans, as you saw on the bench. Greg Zahn, of course, a part of this team, and you wonder whether Aubrey Huff, as you mentioned earlier, will be headed somewhere else as the trade deadline looms.
The guy in the other corner of the infield, Melvin Moore, is another possibility. I don't think Roberts is going to go anywhere. You know, Isturis Roberts gives them strength up the middle defensively, certainly.
No 2-pitch. Ortiz fooled on a pitch up. He strikes out. So back-to-back Ks for Ferguson, who's found his bearings here in the first. That's Youkilis and Ortiz, and there's 2 down.
I don't know if Poppy was looking for something else here, Tom, because that's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball over the plate, and then he swung right through it.
So 2 down, 2 on, and Jason Bay, the batter. He had 252, 20 homers, and 72 runs batted in.
You know, it's hard not to wonder in Bay's case, Don, whether the negotiations over a contract extension has impacted his play on the field. He's really been struggling for quite some time now. That's a big chunk of change you're talking about leaving on the table, and you wonder how much that gets in a guy's head. Some guys are oblivious to it and just go out and play. Other guys, you know, you would think it potentially a distraction. I think that's why the Red Sox, in many cases, try to avoid negotiations during the season for that very reason.
Well, you forget sometimes that these guys are people and that they actually feel those types of thoughts, and when dealing with business off the field, how it could certainly affect them on the field. And you look in conjunction of when this latest round of negotiations went on, and you take a look at some struggles for Bay on the field during that time, and you're right, you have to kind of wonder whether or not that's been a part.
And it's been going on for a while now. I mean, he was 2 for 19 on the trip but you can go back even further than that. In his last 23 games, hitting just $141. So certainly not akin to the kind of numbers he was putting up in the first couple of months of the season.
There's a chase and a pitch outside, and it's 1-2 to Bay.
Don, one of your other broadcast partners, Rex Hudler, came up in my research yesterday, writing about Mark Burley's perfect game and the great catch by Dwayne Wise. Maybe the best defensive play made it to save a perfect game was on a ball that your partner, Rex Hudler, hit against the Texas Rangers. Rusty Greer makes a diving catch in the 9th inning to preserve Kenny Rogers' perfect game. But I think Dwayne Wise probably has it all over with that play.
Pretty impressive. This is on the ground towards third. Mora thought about tagging the runner. Now he's going to get nobody. Bad play by Melvin Mora. He thought about getting Ellsbury. In the meantime, he has to hurry the throw to first, and Bay reaches. So instead of being out of the inning, the Red Sox have the bases loaded.
And you see Mora charge the ball. I don't know why he even thought about Ellsbury in that situation with 2 outs. You almost wonder if he lost track of it. That's why you lose 9 in a row in Fenway Park. When you make mistakes like that early, bases loaded now for J.D. Drew. And what a time for him to come up with it.
Well, Drew swinging at the first pitch to center. Jones coming in. He'll make the catch that ends things as the Red Sox leave them loaded in the first. We're scoreless from Fenway.
Would you one time let me be myself so I can shine with my own light? Let me be myself. Please, will you one time let me be myself so I can shine with my own light? Let me be myself for a while, if you don't mind. Let me be myself.
Siblings always try to outdo one another. BJ Upton and Justin Upton are no exception.
Racing around first goes Upton into second base.
On his way to third is Upton. He has got a 2-run triple.
Upton's hustle beat it out.
He's had a heck of a day.
They're still each other's biggest rivals.
An amazing catch!
But they're also each other's biggest fans. We love each other so much that we just want to see each other do well. This is beyond motivation. This is beyond baseball.
To become a champion is not just a symbol of power. It's a moment of glory. Triumph.
The boyhood dream has come true.
Respect.
Johnny is the champion.
Now, on a night where every championship will be defended, whose moment has come? WWE Night of Champions, live Sunday, July 26th on pay-per-view.
There are a lot of questions today about the government's Cash for Clunkers program. Do I qualify? How much money do I get? What can I trade in? The solution is simple. NewEnglandFord.com. Check out 0% financing and $1,500 cash on a Ford Focus or Fusion. Or let Ford recycle your ride with a $4,500 government rebate on Fusion for savings of up to $8,000. And see other offers you won't find anywhere else. All in one convenient place. NewEnglandFord.com. Get online today, then get to your local Ford dealer.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Comcast Town. Don't forget to stop by Comcast Town on Yawkey Way during your next trip to Fenway Park. Top half of the second inning, scoreless from Fenway Park. Nolan Reimold, who lead it off. Luke Scott, then Melvin Mora. As Brad Penny had to throw 23 first inning pitches, gave up a hit, had 2 strikeouts in the first. In their first strike at 96. Didn't offer. It's 1-1 to Reimold. And a swing and a miss now for Reimold. 1-2.
Whatever adrenaline Penny had going in his favor in the first inning clearly hasn't abated here in the second. Still lighting up the gun, and you know, you see Nolan Reimold step in that box, and the first thing that impresses you, of course, is his size. You know, there were a couple of guys who visited us before the game. Brown football coach Phil Estes and Indianapolis Colts GM Bill Polian. They could probably use this guy.
He is big.
Jeremy Kapstein, the senior advisor of the Red Sox, bringing them up for a visit. Reimold has the distinction, Don, and I'm sure you've mentioned this in earlier broadcasts, hitting his first major league home run off Mariano Rivera. That's impressive.
This is to right field, blooped, and it'll fall in for a base hit. Leadoff single for Nolan Reimold. Let's check in with Heidi Watney.
Well, Don, today kicked off the 18th annual Red Sox Wives Canned Food Drive to benefit the Greater Boston Food Bank. The Red Sox Wives were at all of the gates before tonight's game here at Fenway Park, collecting non-perishable items and cash and giving out autographed pictures of Red Sox players in exchange for a donation of either 10 cans or $10. And if you weren't able to make it tonight, don't worry. They're going to be doing it again tomorrow night from 5 to 7 before the game, collecting cans and cash. Back to you, Don.
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. As this one fouled off by Luke Scott. Scott, a very good pickup. As you mentioned, one of the guys coming from the Houston Astros, part of the Miguel Tejada deal, and he has really feasted on Red Sox pitching especially.
And I mean, you've got to love the power numbers he's put up already, Don, as the graphic shows, 18 and 53. He's been slumping lately, 2 for his last 19, but you've got to like, I mean, particularly in that ballpark, Camden Yards, a left-handed power hitter is going to make some noise.
There are the numbers against the Red Sox: 307 batting average against Boston. Pops up the 0-1. Back goes Mike Lowell into short left to make the catch for out number 1. Well, for the latest New England sports news, visit thenewlooknesson.com. This weekend, our team is covering Jim Rice's historic induction to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Look at the latest rumors and deals developing as the trade deadline approaches next Friday. And they'll prep you for Patriots training camp by catching up with the team's AFC East rivals. Read these stories and more at thenewlooknesson.com. One out. Nolan Reimold at first base here in the second inning. And Melvin Moore, the batter. Moore takes strike 1 from Penny.
We saw Mike Lowell go back on that pop-up, Don, and of course the acquisition of LaRoche is directly tied to the fact that the Red Sox do have some concerns about Lowell's mobility going forward because of the hip problems. I kind of thought Terry Francona might use LaRoche in his first game in the Red Sox uniform, but Lowell was one of the few guys swinging a pretty good bat on the trip, so he's in the lineup tonight.
It'll be interesting to see how this all works now. We figure LaRoche should be in the game at first. Youkilis will move from first to third, and there'll be some movement there from time to time. Were you surprised at all with the deal for Adam LaRoche coming here to the Red Sox?
The Red Sox made no secret of the fact that they were looking for a left-handed hitting corner player, and you assumed because of Youkilis' versatility that it would be a first baseman. I think my only surprise is that it wasn't Nick Johnson of the Washington Nationals, a guy that Theo has liked for a long time. But I believe what was a determining factor is that Rizzo was asking too much for Johnson. They got a pretty good bat in LaRoche and gave up very little.
The 2-pitch skips in, no advance for Reimold at first base.
I mean, the shortstop they gave up in that deal, Argenis Diaz, very good glove. I mean, a plus defender, but there are real questions about his bat. You know, he hasn't shown plate discipline to date, and certainly in this organization that'll kill you. You know, the Pirates are hopeful that he'll develop into an everyday shortstop. Jack Wilson probably isn't long for the Pirates. Hunter Strickland is an organizational arm.
Rolls a 1-2 foul. What do you make of the Pirates? I mean, it seems like every year we're seeing these guys leave the Pirates at the trade deadline. If you're a Pirates fan, how excited can you be about the direction the Pirates are heading in?
You know, I talked to Jason Bay about that a couple of weeks ago, and he says, you know, on the surface it looks awful. He says, but you know, he's convinced that Neil Huntington and Bob Nutting, the owner, they are trying to create a core here. They need players. They've given up some good ones. And the Red Sox certainly haven't been shy about using the Pirates as their trading partner. You know, Bay, of course, last July. Jeff Suppan several years ago came from the Pirates. And now this deal, you know, after a decade plus, what are we, 14 seasons and counting? It might even be more of losing seasons for the Pirates. It's got to be tough to be a Bucco fan. Love the ballpark.
Oh, it's beautiful. PNC Park. I wish the broadcast location was a little lower than it is there. That's my only knock on that place.
Oh, my goodness. And the funny thing is, the owner at the time was McClatchy. He was a newspaper publisher. and he put the press box about as far up as you could possibly have it. You know, he really had a soft spot for his reporters, obviously.
The only one worse as far as height now is Washington. That's unbelievable. Have you been to that?
I have, and that's a surprise too. You know, again, you know, with these new ballparks, you'd think there would be some consideration that, but those days of working like you did in the old Tiger Stadium, Don, where you were right on top of the action, they're over, brother.
Well, it's a ball and 2 strikes to Melvin Mora. Nolan Reimold at first base. And this one carved foul. No pitches for Penny, throwing very hard tonight from 96 to 98. But the pitch count rising as he has just 1 out here in the second.
And that, of course, has been an issue. You know, he works. He's not getting that many swings and misses here early. The pitch count rises, and by the 5th, 6th inning, Terry Francona is looking toward his pen.
Late swing foul. He's not pitched through the end of the 7th inning in any of his 18 starts this season. He's tied with Milwaukee and former Red Sox pitcher Jeff Suppan for the most of the majors. And here he is at 37 pitches with 1 out in the second. This is the 8th pitch of this individual at bat for Melvin Mora. And foul off another.
He's not trying to fool people, Don. He's coming right after guys, and you know, I'm sure he feels very good about his velocity and his location with the fastball. But you know, Mora's hanging in there.
Well, last time out, giving up the 6 runs at Toronto to the Jays. Tries the breaking ball, and it's fouled off. Nolan Reimold with a leadoff single to start the second inning. Scott hopped out. Back to the hard stuff, and it's fouled off to the right.
What is that, 7 foul balls in a row? It's got to be 6, 7 foul balls in a row here.
Quite a few.
Sean Casey would have been counting those if he were in the booth, Don. Haven't quite mastered that art, doing that and talking to you at the same time. 7 in a row.
7
How's
in a row.
that?
There you go. Our friends in the truck. Runner goes. The pitch outside. Veritek's throw is going to sail into center. So not only a stolen base, but he'll be charged with an error as this throw to third is not in time. Second stolen base of the game for the Orioles. And that advanced scouting report is starting to get around. Guys are running at will.
Reimold, not the type of guy you'd expect to be running that situation either. The throw by Veritek tails to the right of second base into center field. Easy advance for Reimold. And this long at bat by Melvin Mora already paying off, even if he doesn't wind up with a hit. Infield in.
This one fouled off to the right. Hangs at 2-2. So 2 stolen bases in 2 innings for the Orioles. And the error charged to Veritek on the throw. Reimold 90 feet away. It's outside, ball 3, full count.
Went to the splitty to give him a different look. Missed outside. Count full now.
Moore to center. Ellsbury right there to make the catch. Tagging is Reimold. Throw cut off into the plate from Pedroia, not in time. And the Orioles take the 1-0 lead. So a very long at bat for Moore. Ends up with a sacrifice fly. It puts the Orioles on top 1-0.
What they call in the business, Don, a productive at-bat.
There you go.
Moore fouling off pitch after pitch, giving Reimold the opportunity to steal second, get into 90 feet away on the throwing error by Veritek, and then scoring on the line drive. That's why we saw those congratulations in the dugout.
14 pitch at bat for Melvin Mora. Before he picks up his 27th RBI of the season. 2 outs, bases empty. Weeder's the batter, so he takes strike 1. Weeder's a .244 hitter coming into tonight's action.
You know, I have to laugh, Don. You know, maybe I miss some of the nuances of the game, but there are times when you see a guy return to the dugout and everybody's giving him the fist bump and all, and you say,
like, what did he do?
What did he do?
This is hit in the air to right center field, playable for Jacoby Ellsbury, who gets there and makes the grab. A run for the Orioles. Baltimore on top 1-0.
All refrigerators are on sale at Bernie's. Come see the GE Profile French door refrigerator with integrated ice and water dispenser, full width adjustable temperature deli drawer, quick space shelf, turbo cool and turbo freezer settings. Plus get 0% interest for 18 months.
The Red Sox on Nesson are brought to you locally by Bernie's, Nesson's Southern New England high definition partner. You can't beat Bernie's. The A's are struggling in the West, and there will be no mercy when they arrive at Fenway to face the Sox as they look to keep a tight grip on their lead in the East. Monday at 5:30, it's Athletic Sox, only on Nesson.
You're watching Nesson, home of the Boston Red Sox.
Whether you consider it a cruiser or a clunker, you can turn it into cash. Get to your Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer and get up to double the government's cash for your old car. Now get up to $4,500 for your old car, plus up to an additional $4,500 cash allowance. No turn-in? No problem. Your Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer guarantees everyone up to $4,500 cash allowance on virtually every model. Get to your Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer on the double and get double cash for your old car.
Hi, I'm Dave Bernotis. You know, there's one thing even more exciting than a big ninth inning save.
Here's the pitch.
And that's saving big on your monthly mortgage.
What a save!
If you'd like to reduce your monthly payments, just call New England's leading mortgage lender. Our billion-dollar lending power helps you get the lowest fixed rate possible. Just like our boys in the bullpen, we're there when you need us at 1-800-EAST-WEST.
1-800-EAST-WEST. All refrigerators are on sale at Bernie's. Come see the GE Profile French door refrigerator with integrated ice and water dispenser, full width adjustable temperature deli drawer, quick space shelf, turbo cool and turbo freezer settings. Plus get 0% interest for 18 months.
Back at Fenway Park, the Orioles scoring first on top 1-0. As the Red Sox come to bat here in the bottom of the second, Mike Lowell, Jason Veritek, and Jed Lowry.
Don, you wonder if you're Adam LaRoche, the choice between leaving your brother in Pittsburgh and gaining, so many places in the standings by going from Pittsburgh to Boston. How tough a call is that for a player to make? I suspect not too hard.
Well, he talked about it today a little bit before the game about how that was a great experience for him, and that was the one thing that kind of bothered him about the move. Coming to Boston, here you are in a pennant race and chance to get to the postseason with a first-rate team, but at the same time having a chance to play on a daily basis with your brother, and that was the one thing that he said was kind of challenging. The one really good thing was how many guys he knew on this team, certainly from a National League standpoint. Jason Bay, a former teammate of his, and J.D. Drew, and he had quite close. In fact, he's staying with J.D. Drew when he arrived here to Boston. Mike Lowell walks down to first, second walk given up by Bergeson. Let's check in with Heidi.
Well, Adam LaRoche, as you were saying, is the newest members of the Red Sox. Now, the first baseman has been a starter with the Pirates for the last few years, and he's going to have to adjust to a new role with the Red Sox.
I've talked with Tito a little bit, just kind of an introduction. Have not got into him, whether it's going to be a platoon situation or once a week, never, every day. I have no idea. So I told him I'm pretty easy. I'm not going to complain much. You tell me when you want me to play, and I'll be out there.
Now, LaRoche said he's looking forward to hitting here at Fenway Park. The left-handed hitter said he had some trouble with how deep left field is at PNC Park. He looks forward to being in a more hitter-friendly park. He also said he's very excited about getting a chance to play in October. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. This is popped up by Jason Barrett. Ball ground for Melvin Mora for the first out here in the bottom of the second inning.
And just from that snippet from the press conference, I don't think it should shock anyone that he and J.D. Drew are friends. I mean, that same laconic personality. I mean, you talk about laid back, platoon once a week, never, whatever Tito says, that's fine. Pretty funny.
One down, Mike Lowell at first base. Here's Jed Lowry. Now, for now, his place to stay is at J.D. Drew's house. As he said before the game, where he's going to hang out for a while.
Can help with the babysitting.
There you go. Lowry takes the strike, and it's 0-1. Jed coming back with the Red Sox on this last road trip. They're back home here at Fenway for the first time since April in a Red Sox uniform. He was 2 for 10 on the trip in his return. He's activated on July 18th. It's a high fly ball to right. Nick Markakis is there. And he makes the catch for out number 2. The all-inclusive Monster Road Trip is available for the August 11th through the 13th games against the Tigers and the August 24th through the 26th matchups with Chicago. Once in Boston, you'll get limo service, luxury hotel accommodations, and a pregame visit to the field. And you'll see the game from the Monster seats. A limited number of spots remain, so act now. Visit redsox.com/Monster Trip now. With 2 down, this is driven back up the middle. Good rangy play by his Turris, and a throw that gets there just in time to get the speedy Jacoby Ellsbury. Not easy to do, but a nice play by his Turris. The Orioles lead it 1-0. as we head along to the third inning. The Orioles on top 1-0. And it is Cesar Izturis, number 9 man, made a nice defensive play to end the second inning. Leads it off here in the third. Izturis, Roberts, and Jones. And this was a nice play. You got to take into account during this play that it's Jacoby Ellsbury who is running with blazing speed to first, and Izturis with a very good throw to get Ellsbury. And to end the second inning. Outside ball 1, and it's a ball and a strike to Izturis. 253 hitter with a home run, 14 runs batted in. Orioles have gone to a series of shortstops since Miguel Tejada left. But again, that is a move that has worked out pretty well for the Orioles.
Well, certainly defensively to have a kid like Cesar Izturis. And how often do you mix him up with his brother, Messer?
Meiser. Well,
Messer. I gave it the French pronunciation instead of the Spanish.
Swing and a miss as Izturis strikes out. That's 3 Ks now for Penny. Penny having to throw 47 pitches through the first 2, and that time the pitch in on the hands to Izturis that he can't catch up to on the fastball. And for Brad Penny, 3 Ks, 1 out here in the third inning, and Brian Roberts the batter.
One of the great stories about the Izturis boys is their father sold his car in order to buy them each their first baseball glove.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh. Well, they're both good players.
Couldn't have been a Mercedes, I'm thinking.
Well,
or they're really nice gloves.
They're both very good players, and of course, Meiser Izturis playing a lot for the Angels. There's ball 1, 1-1.
And in truth, Don, it was as Izturis recalls, it was a '56 Chevy. So
how about that?
Probably had the odometer turned over at least once.
To left field, Jason Bay started back, now has time to recover, and makes the catch for the second out of this third inning. It's time for the catch of the day. Oh, a nice grab in the top deck. That was the D'Angelo's Lobster Nation catch of the day. Probably best catch of the day at D'Angelo. The famous lobster lineup is back. Loaded with 100% real lobster. Try the lobster roll, the baked stuffed lobster, or the lobster sandwich. Come on, you deserve D'Angelo.
Of course, for that to have competed with Dwayne Wise yesterday, he would have had to bang his arm against the rail, have the ball juggle from one hand to the other, and hit the deck and come up with the ball. That was just a tremendous play.
Made Ozzie Guillen look like a genius, too. Just put him in there for defensive purposes before the inning started.
Yeah, moved Podsednik over to left. Wise, Wise coming out of spring training was going to be there every day center fielder. A week into the season, he separated his shoulder, making a game-saving catch against the Tigers. Missed 6 weeks and hasn't hit upon his return. So he's been playing pretty sparingly, but they certainly got him in at the right time yesterday. You know, Burley gave him a hug after he came in at the end of the inning, and the perfecto was in the books. And Pat Burrell of the Rays said, you know, I think it might go a little beyond that. He might wake up tomorrow morning and there'll be a new car in his driveway.
Well, broadcasters across the majors have been Mark Burley fans for a very long time, and it's not because of perhaps the way he pitches, but how quickly he pitches. We all enjoy that very much.
So. No one more so, Don, than your longtime partner, Jerry Remy.
The 2-1 is into center field. Ellsbury on the run, diving forward to make the grab. Jacoby Ellsbury makes the catch that ends the third inning. The Orioles on top 1-0. Orioles lead it 1-0 as Dustin Pedroia leads it off for the Red Sox here in the home half of the third. Brad Bergeson back on the mound through the first 2 innings. Red Sox had him loaded in the first. He had a leadoff walk in the second, worked around both scenarios. And the Red Sox have left 4 men on through the first 2 innings. Pedroia takes strike 1, 2-1. Key matchup is brought to you by Acura. Pedroia against Bergeson in that first go around. He was 2 for 3. One of the only Red Sox able to do anything with Bergeson, who pitched very well. And got another base hit here as he sends one back up the middle into center. So third straight inning, the Red Sox have had the lead runner on.
Pedroia going down and getting that one, hitting it right back up the middle for a base hit. Born to Play, as the title of his new book.
Have you read it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either. No, I know about it, but I have not yet received it or read it.
I just got an email the other day from his publicist. I'm eagerly awaiting it. It's his byline on the cover of the book. He did have some help with it, but I would think this will give him bragging rights in that eternal battle between Arizona State and Arizona. You know, to one up Terry Francona again.
And then Youkilis bats as he struck out in the first inning.
I guess little big man must have been taken as a title. It's interesting how you don't have to play too long before you can
get a book.
Yeah, get the book.
Inside for ball, 2-1. When you think about what he's accomplished in a short time, Rookie of the Year followed by MVP. A lot's happened in a pretty short amount of time.
Strike while the market is hot. That's what they tell all us scribes. not that I can be found anywhere in Barnes and Noble these days.
He's fouled off Youkilis himself as he hobbles around. 2-2. Well, the Offensive Player of the Week is brought to you by your Boston BMW dealers. This week, honor goes to Kevin Youkilis. For the last 6 games, he's hit .304, putting a home run, 3 doubles, 4 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Congratulations to Kevin Youkilis, the Boston BMW dealers Offensive Player of the Week.
It's really striking, Don, when I was in St. Louis for the All-Star game, to hear the measure of respect now accorded Kevin Youkilis by his peers. You know, this guy, he's gone beyond the surprise stage now. I mean, he's recognized as one of the elite hitters in the game, and justifiably so.
Swing and a miss.
As he punches out.
He's had trouble with Bergeson tonight. He's not alone, but he has struck out twice against Bergeson, and there's 1 out. This time there's the fastball down.
Nice movement at the end of that pitch. As he dropped out of the strike zone. Didn't get it.
So 1 out. Pedroia at first base. And David Ortiz, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Red Sox have had the lead runner on in the first 3 innings. Couldn't do anything with it in the first 2.
I mean, to me, the key in the Red Sox staying in the hunt with the Yankees and the Rays is this guy right here. He's got to produce, Don.
Skies one to left, but back there is Reimold to make the catch on the base of the track. Let's check back in with Heidi.
Don, Brad Bergeson has been one of the more consistent pitchers for the Orioles with 9 quality starts in his last 10 outings. His pitching coach, Rick Kranitz, told me it's pretty easy to tell when doesn't have his best stuff.
He's a strike thrower, and you know he did it in the minor leagues. He's done it here. He's got a very good sinking fastball. He keeps the ball on the ground. When he starts getting fly balls, then he's in trouble. You know, he needs to stay down. But his fastball his sinking fastball is really his best pitch. His secondary stuff obviously is just okay. But you know he pounds the strike zone and he gets early outs, works fast.
It's 1-0. back at Fenway Park as the clouds are starting to clear now as the Red Sox and Orioles play to the 4th inning. Nick Markakis, Aubrey Huff, Nolan Reimold to bat against Brad Penny. Markakis a single his first time up, one of only 2 hits off Brad Penny. He came around to score the game's only run did Nolan Reimold after singling in the second. Markakis was left at second in the first. 1 pitch fouled off. 0-2. Good Needs is alongside from Yahoo Sports. And how are you enjoying Yahoo Sports so far?
You know, I'll be observing my year anniversary in a week at Yahoo, and the great thing about it, Don, is it gives me more of a national platform. It gives me a little bit more variety and all. Being based here in the Northeast, my focus is a lot on Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, Phillies, the Northeast corridor here, which is fine by me. But, you know, I hope people are finding me in cyberspace, that there are a lot of us out there.
I've always considered you a national guy in the first place, Gordon, so this is not a surprise to me at all. You have made it nationally, which is outside of the count 2-2.
And it is nice. I do receive a fair amount of email from people in New England who say, hey, we miss you at the Boston Globe and all of that, and we find it great that we find you at Yahoo. But this is kind of our Super Bowl this week, you know, trading deadline. We're supposed to be all over that stuff, you know. Every precious minute counts, Don. So general managers out there, please don't make any trades while I'm in the booth with Donnie O.
Just wait a little while. Be okay. Wait till around 10:30, somewhere around there, and then you can make your moves. It's 2-2 to Nick Markakis. Lofts one out towards deep right center field. Ellsbury on the run. We'll get back there to make the catch as he runs onto the track and towards the triangle. We're out number 1 of the 4th inning. Well, become a Bruins season ticket holder or member of the Premium Club to guarantee your seat at the 2010 Bridgestone NHL Winter Classic at Fenway Park on New Year's Day. For more information, visit bostonbruins.com or by calling season ticket sales representatives at 617-624-BEAR. That angle right there is the way that the ice surface is going to go here for the Winter Classic from 1st to 3rd across the diamond there. And that is going to be where the rink sits, very similar to the way that it was at Wrigley Field last year when the Blackhawks hosted the Winter Classic. I can't wait. That is outstanding theater if you're a hockey fan, which I am. I love that Winter Classic, and the fact that it's coming here is spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fabulous show in Chicago last year, and, you know, you've got 2 of the originals. Oh, no, Flyers are not an original six, but certainly one of the Bruins' great rivals. I'm curious, Don, did you play a little shinny as a kid?
I could skate, but I wouldn't say I played. I could skate.
I could skate if you had
on a pond.
Double runners.
I was Wayne Gretzky on a pond. You know, 2 pitches outside. And then it's 1-2 to Aubrey Huff.
Now, being a novice to this, am I supposed to repeat things I hear from the truck, like Gretzky didn't wear figure skates?
Ignore the truck.
All right, thank you.
Much better suited. They will always try to antagonize the play-by-play announcer, and they do that by going through the color analyst, which is you, and then they tell you to say stuff, and then you say it to me, and that's how it works. But if you stop it, then it never gets to that point. So it stops with you.
That's putting a lot of responsibility on you, Don. I don't know. You know, I'm just trying to get through 3 outs at a
just say no
here. Just say no.
1-2 pitch.
Nice breaking ball. Yes.
2-2.
Don, we were talking earlier about Dustin Pedroia's book, author. I just finished reading a terrific baseball book by a New England guy, Larry Ty, on Satchel Paige, called Satchel: The Life and Times of an American Legend. It's on the New York Times bestseller list. Satchel, in many ways, was the Black Babe Ruth. I mean, not only in his achievements, but his origins. You know, grew up in a reform school and all of that. Learned to play baseball there. Played forever, as you know. I mean, even pitching when he was 59. It's a terrific tale. I couldn't recommend it more. You know, from a literary standpoint, I don't know how it'll compare to Dustin's effort, but it's a good read.
Huff grounds one back up the middle. Pedroia diving, gets up, the throw is going to be close. Got him. Nice play by Dustin Pedroia. It didn't hurt that Aubrey Huff was running, but still a fantastic play by Pedroia, who collects himself after the dive and then throws out Huff.
And who cares how you write when you can make plays like that? Pedroia sprawling to his right, kind of reminiscent a little bit of the play he made to save Buchholz's no-hitter in 07. Again, coming quickly to his feet. The play in the Buchholz game was, I think the degree of difficulty was higher, but outstanding play there.
Yeah, the Buchholz one was hit harder than that one, but this one he had to go further to get. And he gets there to get Aubrey Huff. 2 down. Nolan Reimold, who singled, stole a base, and scored the game's only run in the 2nd inning. That's his second look at Brad Penny. This one back up the middle, and not even Pedroia can get this into center field.
And it looks like the ball might have gone off Penny's bare hand there, Don. He grimaced after the ball went through the infield. Here comes Francona, Paul Lazard. He reached out behind him, and
it's a natural reaction. Managers and pitching coaches would rather you didn't do that, obviously.
Yeah, look at, I'll bet you went off one of the ends of the finger, but now it looks like he's okay. They're headed back to the dugout. 2-out single by Ryan.
So 2 down, Nolan Reimold at first base, and Luke Scott, the batter, popped out to third base first time up.
Penny not even wanting to take a warm-up pitch here, now just getting right back to it.
He's already thrown 72 pitches through 3 2/3 innings.
But the damage has been minimal. 3 singles, 2 by Reinhold.
Well, how about this stat? 12 of 13 first pitch strikes. He's been ahead. The problem has been putting guys away.
And not too many swings and misses.
Ball and a strike to Luke Scott with 2 down, and Nolan Reimold at first base.
And Heidi alluded to it in the pregame, Don. You've got 3 outfielders 25 years and younger on this ball club. And Andy McPhail is here, the general manager and president of the Orioles. I mean, those are nice pieces to have. And then when you've got a hitter like Luke Scott now as your designated hitter too, a guy who can also play the outfield, there's some. That's why frankly, I'm a little bit mystified that they have that much trouble within the division. If they could hold their own in the division, they could make some noise, and they're coming. Give them another year or two. That's getting to be a tired refrain in Baltimore, but I think
they're headed in the right direction this time, it appears.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly grounds for more hope in Baltimore than, say, in Pittsburgh, which we talked about earlier.
Those are the hard numbers for the Orioles. 2 down, Reimold at first, and a 1-2. He's on the ground at Pedroia. He'll go to first with it and end the inning. 3.5 in the books from Fenway. The Orioles have a 1-0 lead. 1-0 Orioles on top of the Red Sox as we head to the home half of the 4th inning. J.D. Drew leads it off. It is Drew, Lowell, and Varitek to bat here in the 4th inning. J.D. flied out to center field with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the first.
Drew's got to find a way, Don, to break out of this brutal slump. I mean, he's counting the fly ball in the first inning. He's now 1 for 34 in 10 games, 0 for his last 23.
Certainly things are magnified at the beginning of the season or to begin the second half. JD is 0 for 22 in the second half so far.
And 233 overall. Those are numbers that are just not typical of J.D. Drew. And you remember the way he carried the team in June last year when Ortiz was out and he hit in the 4-hole, I believe, 3-hole, I guess.
Yes, in the absence of Ortiz.
Right, and did a terrific job.
It's one of the best months I think I've ever seen put together by a player. Really was incredible. And of course was the MVP of the All-Star game last year, J.D. Drew. To left center, and a welcome sight there. It's a base hit. Adam Jones over to play it. Drew throws the brakes on and has a leadoff single to begin this bottom of the 4th.
Just goes with the pitch the other way, Don. Hits it on the line. He's got such a beautiful swing. That's why the hitless things just don't make sense when it's Drew. I think he had some serious designs about trying to take 2 on this one, but Jones gets the ball quickly and back into the infield quickly.
So Drew aboard at first. Mike Lowell walked his first time up as he takes ball 1.
That'll make it a little easier for Adam LaRoche to walk around the Drew kitchen tonight. The fact that Drew broke the slump.
Here's ball 2, 2-0. Wieters having to go to the backhand that time to reel that in. Anderson coming into tonight's effort with a 6-4 record, his 18th start. Whoa, rips this into left. It's headed towards the corner. Drew headed for third, and he'll be stopped there. Throw goes to third, and to second with a double is Mike Lowell. Second and third, nobody out.
Mike Lowell, one of the few Red Sox players to hit well on the road trip, gets a pitch up, drives it into the left field corner, Drew easily into third. Lowell gets to trot into second, which anytime he can go into a trot, Don, is a good thing for Mike Lowell.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Mike Lowell may be the guy that is most impacted by the addition of Adam LaRoche.
You know, and Tony Maserati of the Boston Globe got in touch with Mark Kotze this afternoon, and Kotze said he was surprised that he was the guy. I don't think that was an easy move for Terry Francona to make. Certainly the Red Sox liked what Kotze brought to the table in the clubhouse. They probably would have liked a little bit more power from Kotze and LaRoche a better glove at first base. But
Jason Varitek with a swing and a miss, a ball and a strike. Never an easy conversation, especially for Terry Francona, who certainly made no bulge about it. He enjoyed being around Mark Kotze and what Mark Kotze brought to the table here postseason last year and up to this point this year. The leader in the clubhouse. 1-1 is strike 2.
And as a guy designated for assignment, Don, I mean, hypothetically, if he clears waivers, he could accept an assignment to AAA Pawtucket. But there's no reason for him to do so. Not a veteran player. He'll get a job someplace.
Guy who's used to being an everyday player and kind of bought into the role here. Inside 2-2.
Varitek just batting .203 with runners in scoring position. Don, this is a big spot for the Red Sox. Get something going here offensively. No outs.
Grounds it foul, hangs it 2-2.
I mean, one name that has come up frequently in which the Red Sox have been connected to is Cleveland catcher Victor Martinez. The Red Sox are following the Indians on the road. They were in Toronto, and they're continuing following them now. I mean, it'd take a lot to get them. I mean, you could start a package with Clay Buchholz, but they're big hit.
One hopper into right field, a base hit. From third comes Drew, and the Red Sox tie the game 1-1.
Brian Roberts really having no chance with that ball, Don, as Veritek lines it past him for an RBI single.
Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, coming out for the Orioles, as Ferguson has given up 3 straight hits to open up this bottom of the 4th and has relinquished the lead. It's a 1-1 game now.
And Rick Kranitz had mentioned to Heidi before the game that you can tell when Ferguson is on is if he's getting a lot of ground balls. To this point, the Red Sox have only had 2 ground ball outs, and he's leaving some balls up. That sinker isn't diving like it does when he's on.
So it's first and third, nobody out. And the number 9 man, Jed Lowry, coming up. Lowry flied out to right in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. And it's ball 1 to Lowry.
Lowry's really scuffled offensively since he's come back on. He needs to get going. I'm sure he was happy to come back to Fenway Park.
He was 2 for 11 since coming back, as he takes pitch for a strike. Outfield set up straight away on Lowry. The band is back together again. There's some new parts and some old ones. This one slides foul.
Band's probably regretting that they won't be here to catch Sir Paul McCartney do his thing. Wonder what McCartney would think of that as his percussion section.
You know what they really miss is the guy who's doing a great job for the Seattle Mariners in the pen and closing games. David Art, he was a big part of the band last year.
Hey, how about Mike Timlin working out for the Rockies yesterday in Coors Field? Or it may have been a couple of days ago, because the Rockies then went ahead and made the trade for Rafael Betancourt. But Timlin apparently had some thoughts of coming back.
Lowry thought about it, does not pull the trigger. It's a full count.
Mike gave that band there its little country western accent.
First and third, nobody out. 3-2 to Lowry. To right, sending Markakis back. He's there to make the catch, tagging at third. And putting the Red Sox on top 2-1 is Mike Lowell. So Jed Lowry contributes with his sacrifice fly to right, his 2nd RBI of the season. And it's a 2-1 Red Sox lead. Back up top for Ellsbury.
And when's the last time you've been able to use those words together? Red Sox lead. It's been
a while. Attack at first base. Pitch in there for a strike. And it is 0-1 to Jacoby Ellsbury. A single in the first for Ellsbury, stole a base. And he was grounded out, 1 for 2.
Could have very easily had to hit his 2nd AP too. Don Torres making a nice play.
Center field this time at Adam Jones, who makes the catch for out number 2. Time now to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind, and it's all about the defense. As Jacoby Ellsbury, we just saw, made a diving catch on Adam Jones. And then back up the middle for Dustin Pedroia. Going to rob Aubrey Huff for the base hit. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. 2 down, Veritek at first base, and Pedroia lifting one out to right center field. Adam Jones makes the catch. It wraps it up here in the 4th inning, but the Red Sox grab a pair and now lead it 2-1. I went to the dormitory and said door 4. Tonight's trivia question is brought to you by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Who was the only pitcher to win a World Series game in 3 different decades? We'll be answering for you a little bit later. So it's on to the 5th as the Red Sox get 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. And lead it 2-1 now for Brad Penny. 76 pitches through the first 4 for Penny. As Melvin Mora leads it off here in the 5th.
Usually your trivia question has something to do with somebody in the yard, right?
Correct, but I can tell you the person is not here.
He's not.
No.
But normally would he be up here?
Yes.
Okay.
He has something else going on this weekend.
Perhaps in upstate New York?
Yes. We've already said too much. More Wieters and his tourists to bat here in the 5th. To right, but Drew is there. And JD makes the catch. Well, we'll give you the answer. We're not going to have to wait too long. We're going to give it to you right now. Who's the only pitcher to win a World Series game in 3 different decades? It's Jim Palmer. In the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, 9 career World Series games, 4-2, 3.20 ERA, 1 complete game. Palmer was elected to the Hall of Fame, where he is this weekend, in 1990, his first year of eligibility. Jim, of course, normally does the Orioles games, a split of games, along with Buck Martinez, who is 1 of 24 this year.
There you
go.
go.
Broadcasts. We had filled in Tampa Bay. The Red Sox played the Rays earlier this season. There's our friend Buck Martinez and Gary Thorne here for the Orioles. Wieters, broken bat, dangerously. That bat fired out toward Pedroia.
We see way too much of that, Don.
Yeah. More than ever.
Yeah. Well over the head of Penny, but you know, those flying projectiles can be lethal.
We've seen a lot going to the stands also.
And Kerwin Danley got one.
Yes.
The umpire earlier in the season suffered a concussion. And yeah, they plenty go into the stands. Major League Baseball taking the problem seriously. They adjusted the grains of the bat in the offseason. They instructed the bat manufacturers to adjust so the way they use the grains. They're running a series of tests starting at the beginning of next month, collecting bats, I think over a 2-3 week period, and running some tests on them.
Really?
Not quite as dramatic as the tests they're running on young Dominican players. How about that? Using the DNA to determine whether a player is telling the truth about his age.
About the age, wow. This one fouled off. That has been something that has gone on for years as far as the age thing. And it has come out several times that the player is not the age we thought, perhaps.
Including guys who signed for big money, and,
yes.
And that's hence the concern there. But if those young kids were protected by the Players Association, you think there'd be a bit of a hue and a cry by union leadership?
2 balls, 2 strikes to Matt Wieters. 1 out here in the 5th inning.
And we're seeing players from the Caribbean getting bigger and bigger bonuses, Don. I mean, it used to be teams could get them on the cheap. There's one right through Penny.
In the center field, a 1-out single for Matt Wieters. And the 4th hit for the Orioles. Well, tonight's Twisted But True Fact of the Game is brought to you by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, a pair of baseball playing robots that can hit and pitch, have been developed in Japan. The pitching robot will throw in the strike zone 90% of the time, will never get tired, and won't ask for a pay raise. The batting robot hits balls in the strike zone almost 100% of the time and won't swing at bad pitches. It's twisted, but it's true. It's Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. It's the refreshing hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea, be a little twisted.
Now, are we supposed to take that on face value? Is that
sure.
twisted?
I run it out there every night, and I'm told that it's true.
Well, what I hear about that robot is even he doesn't throw as many pitches in his bullpen sessions as Matsuzaka used to. You remember when he first came and he threw over 200 pitches in a bullpen?
And throw every day. And he wants a new baseball. That's a good question for you. Daisuke Matsuzaka. When, in your estimation, will we see Daisuke Matsuzaka again?
I mean, I think I can safely say that the Red Sox don't have great expectations for what Daisuke can contribute for the rest of the season. I would think the target date is right around the 1st of September, you know, when they expand the roster. Sure.
Smith fouled back into the seats.
You know, Penny's still throwing 95 and up, Don. You know, his next pitch will be his 90th here in the 5th inning, which is pretty striking considering he hasn't walked a batter, given up what, 4 singles and an unearned run.
But here he is in that familiar spot again of 90 pitches, and this is the 90th with 1 out in the 5th. It's outside for ball 2, 2-2. Cesar's Torres struck out swinging in the 3rd inning, 1 of 3 strikeouts tonight for Brad Penny.
You know, we see Matt Wieters getting the hit there. He, of course, is their Ripken, the guy they hope to be their Ripken. Georgia Tech kid, switch hitter, been compared to Joe Mauer.
Could be 2 to second for 1 on to first. They turn it. Well, Penny needed that. And nicely done in the Red Sox infield. Boston on top 2-1. It's 2-1, Red Sox on top as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Brad Bergeson struck out Kevin Youkilis twice tonight. Starts off ahead 0-1. Youkilis striking out in the 1st and again in the 3rd. So the 3 strikeouts for Bergeson in his outing. He was ahead 0-2. Orioles got a run in the 2nd. Red Sox coming back with 2 in the bottom of the 4th.
You know, usually, Don, we'd see a young pitcher, particularly here in Fenway Park, really running up the pitch count against the Red Sox. Ferguson at this point only at 72, which is not a bad number, pretty reasonable number, and particularly given his command issues in the first inning.
And the amount of base runners the Red Sox have had in this game, they've left 6 men on through the first 4. Too far inside that time. Yeah, that's a full count.
And this is your typical Youkilis at bat, down 0-2, works it to a full count now.
Ortiz and then Bay here in the 5th. Youkilis grounds it foul. Well, in 6 games since the All-Star break, the Red Sox are last in batting average, hitting at 192 as a team. And at 139 with runners in scoring position. Youkilis will take the walk to begin things here in the 5th. Red Sox have had a lead runner on in every inning. Introducing the new $5 Red Sox instant game from the Mass State Lottery. You can win Red Sox season's tickets for life and up to $1 million instantly. Get yours today. For details, visit masslottery.com. Three walks allowed by Ferguson. Youkilis at first base for David Ortiz.
Ortiz went the other way, Don, in his last at bat, flying out to the track. Poppy opened a new restaurant, right?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
How about that? Think he'll spend any time in the kitchen? Out in Framingham, I believe,
yes.
Not too far from where David lives.
Big Poppy's Grill opening yesterday, and Big Poppy there.
Did you get an invitation?
I did. I didn't get it till today, though. It's a little late. Stopped by Nesson today to get my mail, and there it was.
Well, I can assure you that if Sean Casey was sitting beside you, he'd already be appealing to Poppy to, have some stuff sent from the restaurant to the booth. I've never seen a guy consume as much during a game as Sean. That was impressive.
I'm with you. All he did was eat the entire time he was here or beg for more food from some of our staff. It just happened to be that night a lot of our advertisers were food oriented, and he wanted free stuff from all of them.
Well, that's the thing. That's what made it so hilarious. Every time you had a spot, regardless of whether it was dessert stuff, fast food, restaurant, that was a base hit.
This one gets through Huff into right, heading for third base is Youkilis. Ortiz is aboard, and it's first and third with nobody out. Well, Huff picks this. They could have started the double play, but instead it gets into right. On a hard hit ball by Ortiz, it's first and third.
That ball, that play could have easily been scored the other way. Don, Huff misses with the backhand. Red Sox wind up with runners on the corners, no outs.
So a base hit for Ortiz, first and third. And it's strike one over the outside corner to Jason Bay. There's action for the Orioles for the first time. Right-hander Matt Alberts is up. Oh, 2 to Bay.
Bay hasn't gotten it out of the infield in his first 2 at bats. Reached on the error by Moore in the first. He inexplicably hesitated before throwing across the diamond.
We're at the corners, nobody out. An 0-2. To right field shallow. Markakis was deep, but he comes on to make the catch. Stopping and the throw to the plate was Youkilis at third. They try to draw the throw, they get it. Youkilis throws the brakes on. And there's one out of the inning. So all the momentum coming forward for Markakis, who had to run a good distance to come in to make that catch. He ended up pretty shallow and right.
Yeah, you run on Nick Markakis at your own peril, Don. He leads the American League in assists with 10. And when he was scouted, a lot of teams liked him as a pitcher. I mean, he threw in the low 90s and left-handed. You can see what the attraction would have been.
And the Red Sox not challenging that arm here. One out, first and third. J.D. Drew, the batter. A single his last time up. Yankees tonight with a 3-1 advantage in the 6th inning at Yankee Stadium against the Athletics. It's outside. It's 2-0. Red Sox beginning the day 2.5 games back of the Yankees, who were victorious last night. And New York has now won 7 straight games.
Yeah, they swept the Tigers, and then they swept the Orioles, and now you talk about a favorable scheduling here, and now the Athletics in town, and look, the job is on the hill, correct, and step the lead, and as the scoreboard shows, 2.5 game lead.
Chamberlain 5-2 going into that outing. 2-0 pitch is lifted down the left field line. Reimold giving chase, but it's back into the seats.
You know, it seems like the Yankees have settled their bullpen issues, particularly in the middle relief. You know, getting that bridge from their starters to Mariano Rivera was pretty shaky. But Phil Hughes has done a terrific job now in setup. Bruni gave up a couple home runs late, but he's got a good arm. Aceves is pitching well. You know, it looks like the Yankees are in the market for a starter. And wouldn't it be just like the Yankees and Brian Cashman to sneak under the radar
and get Roy?
No, I don't think they'll get Roy, but Cliff Lee. I don't think they have the chips to get Roy Halladay, but you know, you wonder if they could be in on Cliff Lee. One guy we know they won't be on is Carl Pavano. I think they had enough of his act first go round, although
been there, done that.
Pavano's pitched decently, not great for the Indians, and he's certainly eminently available, but you know, maybe a John Garland type would make more sense for the Yanks than say, or certainly more so than Pavano.
Drew, the second base for one for Huff, back to first, not in time, and in from third comes Youkilis. Red Sox pick up their 3rd run of the night. Well, Drew grounding to first. Huff tried to start the inning-ending double play. They do get Ortiz 3-6 on the force out. Drew picks up the RBI, his 39th.
Huff hoping that he could bring the inning to a close there and turn 2, conceded the run, but Drew gets down the line quickly enough to get the RBI and a 2-run lead.
So 2 down, Drew at first. Mike Lowell, the batter, he has been aboard twice. A walk and a double. He's also scored a run. And their first strike, 1-1.
Don, it was striking to me in the conference call that Theo Epstein conducted when they made the LaRoche deal, how Theo emphasized how much Lowell has worked to get back to where he is, and you know, I mean, he acknowledged that Mike's not going to be 100% until next year, and with his age being what it is, you wonder if that'll even be the case. But for Mike to have come back and done as well as he has here, even though they went out and got the player as insurance if he breaks down. I mean, that was one of the more painful things to watch at the end of last season, was Mike Lowell trying to get down a baseline.
He strikes out this time in frustration, flips the bat. Red Sox get a run and lead it 3-1 at the end of 5. Red Sox on top 3-1 as we head to the 6th inning. Fans after the game on Sunday, August 30th, joined Mike Lowell and some of his teammates for the Club 25 night at the Copa at the new House of Blues. Proceeds benefit the Mike Lowell Foundation and programs for low-income families struggling with cancer and inner-city youth baseball. Call 617-226-6002 or visit RedSoxFoundation.org for more info. Advance tickets are required. Mike Lowell striking out to end last inning. It's on to the 6th we go. And the Red Sox with a 3-1 advantage. The top of the Orioles order. Ryan Robertson, Adam Jones, and Nick Markakis. That is pitch number 92 for Brad Penny as he works here in the 6th.
The Red Sox have left 8 men on base through the first 5 innings. That's the kind of thing you hope doesn't come back and bite them later. Penny certainly in command at this point. No action yet in the Red Sox pen.
And strike 2, 0-2. Penny's had the good fastball all night. Velocity wise, been anywhere from 95 to 98.
Are we going to see him pitch into the 7th inning tonight, then?
Remains to be seen how quickly he can get through the 6th. This one fouled back, hangs at 0-2. League leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports. Roberts, who is a double machine, last 3 years, 123, and it's even with the output of Dustin Pedroia. Nick Markakis right in behind him. Alex Rios. And Matt Holliday, who is now a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. 0-2. It was popped up, foul ground. Lowell giving chase by the seats. Mike Woods makes the catch basket style. Mike Lowell holds on. Nice play by Lowell. Just beyond the Orioles dugout. And Mike over there to make the grab.
Mike took a quick peek to see how much room he had. Then did a little 24 there. Gave it the basket catch like Willie. Oh, caught the ball at the heel of his glove and held on. That was my first ooh of the night.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. One down for Adam Jones, who is 0 for 2. Jones grounding back to the mound in the first, flight out to center in the 3rd. Jones down 0-2.
Yeah, it's very interesting, Don. The Los Angeles Dodgers are very much in the middle of the Roy Halladay thing and also have interest in Cliff Lee. And I mean, the guy on the hill tonight that we're seeing pitching for the Red Sox was a very key part of their rotation just 2 years ago and fell off the map last year. I mean, there was no question it was good riddance by the end of last season.
This ground ball to first base. Youkilis will need Penny. He's there. And they get the out on Jones. 2 down. Well, Ace Ticket will donate $175 to Children's Hospital Boston and the Red Sox Foundation for every strikeout by a Red Sox pitcher this season. Coming into tonight's game, Ace Ticket has donated $125,300 thanks to Ace Ticket. Remember to get your Sox tickets at aceticket.com.
Thinking about our Nesson colleague Jim Rice being inducted Sunday, read a nice little piece by Ellis Burks, his former teammate for the Sporting News, and Burks talking about how growing up Rice was his guy, was his hero, wore 14 all through high school and everything, and he talked about making the first road trip with the Red Sox after being called up, and Jim not particularly impressed by his choice of wardrobe. First night, I believe it was in New York, took him out, bought him several suits and everything, and I think won Ellis Burks' everlasting affection. Certainly a guy who's taking great satisfaction in seeing Jim get inducted Sunday.
Well, we look forward to the induction ceremony coming up this weekend in Cooperstown for Jim. And then on Tuesday, we look forward to retiring of his number here at Fenway Park. There'll be another number up there. It'll be number 14.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a little bit of shuffling, Don, over the right field grandstand. But it'll be great to see that 1-4 go up.
On a strike to Nick Markakis with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. No strike 2.
You know, up to this point in the game, Don, the Orioles, other than the unearned run they scored in the 2nd, the only other base runner to get as far as second base was Nick Markakis in the 1st when he stole 2nd after the 2-out single. So Penny really clamping down on the O's.
Swing and a miss. Strikes out Markakis, has a quick and easy 6th. Red Sox lead it 3-1. Well, with their 3 runs tonight, the Red Sox have now scored 481 this season. And speaking of runs, visit DunkinRun.com today and grab a group order of America's favorite coffee and snacks. Dunkin' Run. Invite, order, run, enjoy. How's that for easy? America runs on Dunkin'. Jason Varitek. A base hit to right field to drive in a run. That was in the 4th inning. Red Sox will score twice in that 4th. 1 for 2 tonight as he pops this one up back at 3rd. Mora towards the stands, runs out of room.
You know, we've noted that the Red Sox have had more than their share of offensive problems this month, hitting a league low 221 for the month. They're not exactly tearing the cover off the ball tonight. Oh, and it's a bit of a surprise, Don. The only extra base hit by either team to this point is the double by Lowell in the 4th.
They elevate. Varitek chases and strikes out. 5 Ks for Bergeson. And there's 1 out here in the 6th inning. He wanted it up high. Wieters, you got it up there, and Varitek chases for the first out of this 6th inning.
That shot gave you a great perspective of the kind of size Wieters has behind the dish. Looks like a Mauer, you know, 6'4". That's why there are people who say that his future eventually will be at another position. That might be premature. You know, Mauer certainly seems to be handling it, although he gave the team a heck of a scare with his, what was it, a back issue, back or hip, that kept him out for much of the first month of the season.
Jed Lowry with a count of 0-2 with one out here in the 6th. It's a fly ball to left field. Reimold to the warning track to make the catch in front of the wall. Kind of finding his way out there. It's interesting when you see young players come into Fenway Park for the first time trying to figure out how to play that wall. And that time Reimold going all the way back to make the grab as he finds his way here in an Orioles uniform at Fenway Park. 2 down. There is action in the Red Sox pen for the first time. Manny Del Carmen is up. Ellsbury with the bunt bid, but he fouls it off. Grabs the attention of Melvin Moore at third. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox are to save, CVS Pharmacy will donate $500 to Children's Hospital Boston. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox.
Seeing Reimold finding his way out in left field does bring to mind just how many hundreds, if not thousands, of fly balls Jim Rice must have taken in left field as he learned the position.
A little help from Johnny Pesky along the way.
I'm sure Pesky wore out a fungo bat or two in doing so. JP turning 90.
How about that?
In September.
Ellsbury jolts it out towards deep right center field. Back goes Jones, going to stay in the yard, hops up into the seats, a ground rule double. And that sort of cost the Red Sox because he would have reached third. As that hit to the deepest part of the ballpark, back by the 420 marker. And if that one rattles around, you can guarantee that Ellsbury is at least at third base, but instead he ends up with the double.
Yeah, kind of robbed us of one of the more exciting plays in the game. You know, when you got a guy with Ellsbury's speed, I mean, Jones has great speed and got back there in a hurry, but if that ball rattles off that railing and gets past Jones, could be off to the races for Ellsbury. Instead, he gets the ground rule double.
Does have 3 triples on the year. Could have had his 4th. And he stands at second base with 2 outs. With Kranitz, the pitching coach, on the phone to the pen. They have not had action yet, but it appears to be on its way.
Matt Alberts had warmed up earlier
right.
when he was in trouble, but
you are correct. Ferguson with 104 as this one rattled foul. It is Albers again. He's about to start to warm again. Two down, Ellsbury at second base. Pedroia trying to deliver him. Red Sox trying to open this up a little bit. It's still just a 3-1 Red Sox lead. They've had chances all night. At least one base runner in every inning. And Pedroia delivers a base hit to right. Ellsbury's going to try it on the arm of Markakis to throw. He is out at the plate. Markakis with a fabulous throw from right field, guns down one of the game's fastest. And Jacoby Ellsbury at the plate. Wow, 3-1 Red Sox. Well, Nick Markakis gunning down Jacoby Ellsbury at the plate to end last inning. He now leads the major leagues with 11 outfield assists. Just a look at the gun that he possesses. Talking about Ellsbury running. Doing a very nice job of blocking the plate, too, by Wieters. It's down to first base off the bat of Huff, and Youkilis handles out number 1.
Yeah, Wieters didn't leave Ellsbury as much as a crawl space there to find home plate, Don. But what a throw. We had talked about Markakis having a pitcher's arm, and he threw a strike to the plate there, and it had some cheese.
There is Nolan Reimold, who is 2 for 2. He's flied for a base hit to right and a single in the infield. He is 2 for 2.
You know, you can go a week without seeing a runner thrown out on the bases by an outfielder. The Orioles, 5 outfield assists in the last 6 games.
Penny up over 100 pitches as he works here with 1 out in the 7th inning. Trying to go 7 for the first time in a Red Sox uniform. He's had a couple of quick innings to give him the opportunity to do this. The 5th and 6th innings both quick after 76 pitches through 4. Manny Del Carmen continuing to throw in the pen. Fouled off, and it hangs at 1 and 2. Still throwing hard. That last delivery at 97.
Manny Del Carmen, Don, of course, is a name that many teams bring up in trade conversations with Theo Epstein. You know, some clubs think that Manny could close for him. Certainly has the stuff. I don't think he's going anywhere. The Red Sox tried to interest the Colorado Rockies in Takashi Saito before the Rockies made the trade for Betancourt yesterday from the Indians. They didn't bite. I think when they came in to see him pitch, Saito didn't pitch particularly well, and they're familiar with him having pitched for the Dodgers before he came here.
This is rifled down the left field line, a fair ball to the corner. Jason Bay to play it as Reimold cruises into second base with a 1-out double, his 3rd hit of the night.
Their first extra base hit of the game, Don, the double by Reimold. We talked about him being a big, strong Ute, and he showed it there. And he doesn't go through 7, Don.
Can't quite get there as he goes 6 1/3 and departs with a lead as Terry Francona makes the change.
Carmen in the game. Very strong outing by Brad Penny, as we see in this at bat. The Amica Pitch Zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Get the right auto and home coverage at amicacoverage.com. This is how Penny ended the 6th inning against Marquez. Marquez misses low with his first pitch, but then just comes at him with fastballs, Don, and we saw that the velocity was there right until his very last inning. 97 for the final pitch of that punch out.
Ends up with 108 pitches in his outing tonight. 1 run allowed. It was unearned back in the 2nd inning. He's still responsible for Reimold at second base with 1 out. We're in the 7th inning as Luke Scott stands in, 0 for 2 tonight. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. And the new pitcher is Manny Del Carmen. Carmen appearing in his 39th game of the year, 2-1 record, 2.25 earned run average. He's given up a hit an inning. And the opponent batting average at 259 against Del Carmen. There's more action in the Red Sox pen. Hideki Okajima warming up.
You have to think, Don, that particularly since the velocity was still there, that Penny would have liked a shot at finishing that inning. But, you know, he had thrown less than 100 pitches in each of his last 2 starts, of course, only going 5 innings. You can see him there on the bench talking about what might have been.
This one grounded towards second. Pedroia to his right. And on to third goes Reimold with now 2 down in the inning. Okajima has been joined by Daniel Bard.
Don, and you have to think that matchups factored in Francona's decision to bring in Del Carmen at that point. Scott 0 for 5 against Manny going into that at bat. Del Carmen getting the easy ground ball to Pedroia.
So 2 down, Reimold 90 feet away, and a chance here for Melvin Mora. We're talking about Manny Del Carmen and his name being mentioned around the trade deadline by many different teams. I imagine that a lot of calls that Theo Epstein fields, Daniel Bard's name comes up, I'm quite sure.
If it's not the first name, it's the second, behind Clay Buchholz. And that's a guy that I just would be shocked to see the Red Sox move in any deal. You know, maybe in a Halladay trade, but you know, this guy's got a heck of a future in front of him, and you just don't move those 100-mile-an-hour blowers too easily, Don. I still like the Phillies as having the best chance at getting Halladay. They've got a kid in AAA, Carlos Carrasco, that the Blue Jays were scouting tonight.
This one is laced down the left field line, a foul ball. Not much foul ground, but somehow Mora found it. Do you think the Phillies have the most prospects to offer the Toronto Blue Jays?
I think so. You know, they brought the kid up, Happ, who's pitched great as a rookie for the Phillies. They've got Drabek, Doug Drabek's son. They've got Kyle Drabek. They've got Lou Marson. They've got Taylor, the outfielder, Lou Marson, the catcher. So they've got a lot of pieces, and I think JP needs some big league ready pitching. And both Carrasco and Drabek, in my mind, and not to mention Happ, since he's already in the big leagues, would fit that bill.
Two-1 is popped up foul, backing out of play. And it's 2-2 to Melvin Mora.
You know, the Red Sox obviously have the pieces to make a Halladay deal. When you talk a Buchholz, a Bard, a Bowden, but are you going to strip your farm system of that many premium arms to get a Roy Halladay? I mean, you could make an argument that a guy who's already has 2 Cy Youngs and could have a couple more in his future, it would be worth it. But
Mora down the right field line, but just foul.
The way baseball is trending these days, Don, I think you're seeing more and more teams trying to hold on to their young guys, the guys that they have financial control over for 6 years. And certainly that's going to factor into the Red Sox decision on Halladay. And the other side, the other part of it is whether they determine that a bat is more essential at this stage, and that's why they're tracking Victor Martinez.
Two and two, the count to Melvin Mora. Nolan Reimold at third base. Foul tip held under by Varitek. Del Carmen strikes out Mora. The Orioles leave Reimold at third. It's 3-1 Red Sox. Time for a Sports Desk update with Cole Wright. What does healthy mean to you? As you're getting your annual checkup, cheering on your favorite team, healthy is blank. Fill in your blank at bidmc.org. Last half of the seventh inning here at Fenway Park. Red Sox on top 3-1. Euclid, Ortiz, and Bay to face the new Orioles pitcher. There's Matt Albers, who was up twice, finally gets into the game here and makes an appearance in his 32nd game of the year. 3.79 ERA, 278 opponent batting average against Albers.
Nice outing, Don, by Brad Bergeson. Not quite as impressive as his outing July 1st in Baltimore, where he took a 4-1 lead into the ninth inning. His bullpen coughing it up here, leaving down 3-1.
Albers, another one of the guys they got from Houston, along with Luke Scott, Dennis Sarfati, in exchange for Miguel Tejada in December of 2007. Nicholas, who has struck out twice tonight and walked, is down in the count 1-2. Ortiz and then Bay to follow here in the seventh inning.
Albers has some late sink on the fastball, Don, and the Orioles had him give up his curveball and go more to the slider. Particularly effective against left-handed hitters. Last year, only one home run in 87 at bats.
Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach for the Orioles. Orioles second to last in the American League in earned run average as a staff. Euclid strikes out for the first out here in the bottom of the seventh. Well, a big event going on tomorrow. Ernie Bach Jr. is alongside Heidi Watney.
Thanks, Don. I'm joined by Ernie Bach. And Ernie, you've got a great event that Red Sox fans can enjoy tomorrow night. Tell us about it.
It's on Martha's Vineyard. It's at the Boathouse Field Club in Edgartown. And it's Ernie and the Automatics, James Montgomery, and Kim Carnes of Betty Davis Eyes. You know that tune, big tune in 1981? And it's a benefit for affordable housing on Martha's Vineyard. We're raising money to keep the locals being able to live on the vineyard. It's awesome.
Great. A benefit concert to benefit the locals, hosted by our own Charlie Moore from Nesson. Where can people get tickets?
Right at the venue. Come right at the venue in Edgartown, the Boathouse in Edgartown. It's going to be great. Please be there.
Sounds like a lot of fun for a concert. Thank you, Ernie. Back to you, Don.
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. Look forward to that tomorrow night. As David Ortiz swings away and fouls it off, he's down 0-2.
It's kind of lamentable that the man you dubbed Disco Denny isn't here tonight, Don. He probably cut the rug to Betty Davis Eyes back in the day.
You know he did. Talking about Barry Gibb Eckersley.
I can't believe I brought that up because I know Eck wasn't particularly thrilled by that character.
Not at all. He's still a little upset about it, I think. Especially where it caught on.
Well, and you were goading him. You were trying to, get him to admit to living this, wild life. Good God.
Well, he admitted in the same breath that he was Studio 54 guy. I mean, it all came out. I mean, little by little.
Yeah, with your encouragement.
Yeah. 0-2 to Ortiz. His ball 1-2. David tonight has struck out, flied out to the warning track in left and single.
Only the fourth time this season, Don, that Youkilis has punched out 3 times in a game. You think Big Poppy's grill stays open late for
for
post game or past? Yeah.
Big Poppy works late. Ortiz strikes out for the second out. It's time for a game break, and Tom Caron, TC. Okay, TC, thanks very much. Here at Fenway, it's 3-1. Red Sox on top with 2 outs here in the 7th. Matt Albers impressively has struck out Youkilis and Ortiz. Now Jason Bay with a swing and a miss.
That Yankee lineup with the addition of Teixeira, Don, is just now so stretched out like the Red Sox lineup. Melky Cabrera tonight hitting in the 9-hole, getting 3 hits. The switch by Joe Girardi of Damon and Jeter at the top of the order has worked out so well. They're playing terrific baseball right now.
Well, the Yankees have won 7 straight. And in good shape tonight.
And the controversy over Alex Rodriguez has died down. You just don't hear that much about it. I mean, of course, he's still getting booed on the road and all, but I found it very interesting. Bill James, who's a senior advisor here, statistical analysis, wrote a very provocative piece about steroids, in which he made the argument that the one thing that we know steroids do is make you younger, and James predicting that if the side effects can be proven harmless, that you're going to see this sweep our culture, never mind baseball. Probably not the kind of stuff Mr. Selig wants to hear in his offices in New York, but when you consider how much our society is dependent on various medications, who would turn down a chance to live longer and healthier? Certainly you wouldn't, Donnie O. Broadcast booth, Houston Fenway.
There you go. You already started.
Film at 11.
Well, do you still have a vote?
I do.
You do.
And that's what that was what Bill James was addressing is how, as a Hall of Fame voter, do you handle this whole
exactly what I was going to ask you.
Steroid issue.
Where I was headed.
And
how do you vote for some of these guys?
You know, my personal feeling is that I'm in no position to be judge and jury for an entire generation of players. There are players we know used. There are players we suspect used. I think you just have to say this was the steroid era and vote on them on the basis of their baseball performance. So
you're not taking into account that they were.
I voted for Mark McGwire.
You did?
I did.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty.
No, and I mean, certainly that's a very controversial position to take. I mean, there are a lot of people who say, you know, the cheats have no place in Cooperstown. But, you know, how can I not vote for a Mark McGwire and then vote for a guy that maybe nothing ever came out on him? His name didn't appear in the Mitchell report or whatever.
He wasn't caught.
He wasn't caught, and I can, you know, anecdotal evidence, you know, what I see, I know that this guy probably was using.
It seems in listening to a lot of people who are voting, trying to figure out where the player would be without using steroids and trying to figure out whether that player was a Hall of Famer without it. You hear that a lot.
Right. And particularly you hear it about Barry Bonds. And, to paraphrase Bill James, and I hope I'm doing his article justice, you know, one of the things he said is that once you vote for one player who was a known steroid user, and you know, Roger Clemens is another guy who's going to get, I would think, a good deal of support at some point here, then how do you or pull up the drawbridge and say the rest of you guys are out? Right. You know, not an easy call. It's a very frustrating topic. At the All-Star game, the baseball writers had a meeting, and it was proposed by Rick Tellender in the Chicago Sun-Times that we study it more, and it was voted down. You know, pretty much left it up to the individual writer.
3-1, Red Sox on top at the end of 7. Three to 1, Red Sox on top as we head to the top half of the 8th inning. And a new pitcher for the Red Sox, third of the night, is Hideki Okajima. Makes an appearance in his 44th game of the year. 3-0 record out of the pen, 3.15 ERA. Opponent hitting at .211 against Okajima. Last time we saw Hideki was the day before yesterday, pitched in the final game at Texas, went an inning giving up a hit. And as he starts the inning, Daniel Bard behind him throwing as Bard had been throwing in the pen last inning as well. Matt Wieters, big catcher for the Orioles, and a swing and a miss for strike one.
You know, the Orioles, Don, only having 6 outs away from adding to just one of the more ridiculous stats. You know, that their inability to beat teams on the road in the American League East. 1-14 this year. It just defies belief.
To right, J.D. Drew makes the catch for the first out of the inning. What does 79 cents get you these days? If you go to Cumberland Farms Chill Zone, it gets you a whole lot of refreshment all season long. Mix up any drink you can think of, frozen or fountain, just 79 cents any size. That's the Chill Zone at Cumberland Farms. The Orioles have action. Danny Baez up in the pen.
Of course, when you alluded earlier to the Orioles' earned run average, maybe it isn't all that much of a surprise when they come up against the Yankees, Rays, Red Sox lineups, although they've pitched well tonight.
4.97 earned run average. Only Cleveland with a higher earned run average as a pitching staff. The Indians at 5.31. The Nationals are the only other team with an earned run average over 5 as a team. They're 5.08. This is Ty Wigginton pinch hitting for Cesar Torres. As Torres had been 0 for 2. He's trying to get something going here in the 8th. They trail by 2 runs. Brad Penny tonight for 6 1/3, giving up 5 hits, 1 unearned run. In Milwaukee, but he struck out 4. Manny Del Carmen, with the 2 batters he faced in the 7th, a ground out and a strikeout. Now Okajima for the 8th.
News out of Kansas City, Don. Texas Rangers pitcher Vicente Padilla testing positive for swine flu.
Wow.
Though his symptoms are subsiding, he's expected to make his next start. If you recall, he was scratched from his start Wednesday against
Dustin Nippert pitched instead.
Right.
He's scheduled to pitch against the Red Sox. I'm sure that has some of the Rangers concerned. As this is popped up, shallow right, Pedroia out, Drew in. And it's J.D. Drew for the second out. Dunkin' Donuts is in its 10th year of hosting local youth groups and charitable organizations in the Dunkin' Dugout, a special seating section at Fenway. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, the Rangers held a meeting Wednesday to discuss the precautions they should take. I guess you weren't invited, huh?
No.
The visitors, no regard was given to the health and welfare of the visitors.
We were just in the Rangers clubhouse the other day, and it's amazing how things, you know, once one guy gets sick, how quickly in Major League Baseball the rest of the clubhouse gets it. I mean, you're just so close together. You travel close together. I mean, you have that just sweep through a clubhouse, and hopefully the Rangers can contain that situation, as I'm sure they're taking every precaution to do so.
Well, Thad Levine, who's a Massachusetts native and the Rangers assistant GM, did say that it's reasonable to expect that some of your other players will contract or already have contracted swine flu. They're already medicating them. The other bizarre injury out of Kansas City, I don't know if you heard this, Jose Guillen, the outfielder for the Royals, torn ligament in his knee putting on his shin guard before an at-bat Wednesday against the Angels. I mean, that is really weird.
To right field, down the line, J.D. Drew is there. Okajima on 3, fly ball outs, all caught by Drew. We head to the bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Red Sox. Summary is brought to you by Comcast. The Orioles getting their only run in the second inning. A stolen base. Jason Varitek fires it away, and he's charged with an error. The run would later score, but Jason Varitek would get his revenge as he drives in a run as part of a two-run fourth inning for the Red Sox. Boston with a two-run advantage trying to add on to that. Ellsbury trying to score from second on a base hit by Pedroia, but gunned down at the plate by Markakis. 11 outfield assists to lead the majors. And it's a 3-1 Red Sox lead. Ty Wigginton, who pinch hit for his turf, stays in at shortstop. And the new pitcher for the Orioles is Danny Baez. As Lowell fouls it off to even the count at 1-1. Baez in his 34th game of the year, 4.60 ERA, 222 opponent batting average. Matt Albers went an inning and struck out two batters, walked a batter. No hits, no runs. It's the 8th time that Ty Wigginton has appeared in a game at shortstop for the Orioles. He's really become a very versatile player. Seen him at second, seen him in the outfield.
You'd think for that reason, Don.
Yeah.
He's a guy that might be a piece that the Orioles need. He spent some time with the Astros. It wouldn't shock me to see the Astros, who surprisingly are in the middle of things in the National League Central, making a move for Wigginton.
This is bounced to second. Roberts retires Lowell. In the save situation, Papelbon getting ready in the pen.
Just had a visit in the booth from Dennis Go-Go Gilbert, former minor league outfielder for the Red Sox. Later, of course, went on to become a very successful agent. Now works for the Chicago White Sox with Jerry Reinsdorf. Here with former teammate Billy Conigliaro as well.
Anything rumored that you can tell us about in between innings?
I asked them if they were working on, so he said we're working it. They had a double header against the Tigers today.
Varitek flying out to center for the second out. Well, tomorrow at 6, Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe's Red Sox Game Day Live with TC, Ken, Ryan, Heidi, and me. For preview John Lester's start, we'll have the latest from around the major leagues, and we'll have an inside look in the direction of the Baltimore Orioles. It's all coming up tomorrow at 6, only on NESN. There are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Jed Lowry, the batter, is flied out to right. Sacrifice fly in the 4th, and flied out to the warning track in left field in the 6th inning.
Don, as you know, I'm from central Massachusetts, Lunenburg, which is about a town of 9,000. And I lost a classmate this week, one of Lunenburg's top athletes when I was in school, Carl Mackey. My condolences to his family, and particularly his twin brother, Wayne.
Long throw from short for Wigginton in a 1-2-3 8th inning. 3-1 Red Sox as we head to the 9th. As the trade deadline approaches next Friday, stay with NESN.com all day for developing rumors and related news. Then at 3 p.m., join Tom Karen and the rest of the team for the NESN's baseball trade deadline special. It's next Friday, July 31st, all day on NESN.com and live at 3 here on NESN. Ninth inning from Fenway Park. Red Sox on top 3-1. And Jonathan Papelbon, the closer on for the Red Sox, 42nd appearance, 1.76 ERA. He's 24 out of 26 in save opportunities. 221 opponent batting average against Papelbon. Tough part of the order he's going to deal with for the Orioles. Adam Jones, Nick Markakis, and Aubrey Huff to bat in the inning. Ball one outside.
Don, I was on the trade deadline show on NESN last year, and I think I was on camera when I got the call telling me that Manny Ramirez had been traded to the Dodgers, and as you recall, that came after the deadline.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. What's amazing, that seems a lot longer than a year ago.
It does, and maybe because so much has happened with Manny since then. I mean, he had the whole Manny Wood phenomena in Los Angeles. He had the fantastic 2 months. The Red Sox, of course, making it to a Game 7 of the ALCS without him, and then the drug issues this year in the 50-game suspension.
Fouled off to the right, 1-2.
That's packing a lot into a very short time.
A lot of stuff.
Did you ask Dr. Charles by any chance to send you some Manny dreads?
No.
That they're, such a popular item at the concession stands in L.A.?
No, I'm good on that. All set. I will say, from a theater standpoint, I do miss Manny Ramirez on a day-to-day basis, though. We never knew what we were going to get in Manny.
No, and certainly Jason Bay brings a lot to the table, but drama is not one of the components. Or melodrama or tragic comedy or whatever else Manny was giving us.
The 1-2 to Jones is to center field and in for a base hit. So Jones gets this ninth inning started with a single, and the Orioles will bring the tying run to the plate. Stay with us immediately following the game tonight for WB Mason's Extra Innings. TC will have reaction from Brad Penny of the latest on the Yankees. And we'll hear what the Sox have to say in the Red Sox clubhouse uncut. It's all coming up right after the game. And Papelbon has given up a leadoff single in the ninth.
Well, you were asking for some extra drama, Don. You just got it. The tying run at the plate.
Not this was sure the drama I was looking for. Nick Markakis 1 for 3, a single back in the first inning. And down in the count, 0-1.
And the Red Sox, of course, would have a bigger lead if it wasn't for the tremendous throw by Markakis to nail Jacoby Ellsbury at the plate on Dustin Pedroia's base hit. I was coloring in a little plate in my scorebook, just assuming that that run was going to be in there. Markakis charging the ball and just a strike to Matt Wieters, and the big boy didn't leave Ellsbury much room to find the plate, did he?
No, he did a great job of blocking the plate. Got it on that short hop and was able to retire Ellsbury. Red Sox unable to score since then. Markakis 1 for 9 against Papelbon, 4 Ks. Papelbon in 27 games against the Orioles has given up 1 earned run in 25 innings pitched. A 0.36 ERA. He's blown only 1 save against the Orioles in his career, 21 out of 22 against Baltimore.
Was that one the fiasco? I'm thinking it might have been, because Paps did come in and pitch that game.
Yes, I think you're right. Game in which the Red Sox had a 10-1 lead in and lost against these Orioles. Jim Johnson is now up for the Orioles in case. 0-2 pitch to Markakis. Line to right. Adam Jones is headed for third as Drew gathers it. It's first and third with nobody out here in the ninth inning for the Orioles. Back-to-back hits. Papelbon was ahead 0-2, but Markakis with a base hit to right. It's a lot of the plate for 2 strikes.
Sure, that's exactly what Jonathan Papelbon is saying to himself at this moment.
So first and third, nobody out. Papelbon is tied for 4th in the American League with 24 saves. Aubrey Huff 0 for 3 as time called. And what do we got here? The umpire calling for somebody from the Red Sox dugout. So Terry Francona comes out. Home plate umpire is Paul Schreiber. Joe West is going to get involved in this conversation now.
There's a shot.
Crew chief.
Gesturing out towards center field, it looks like. And the center fielder, Ellsbury, looking back as well.
We've involved security in this conversation. They have to think it is some sort of fan involvement here from center field in the batter's eye. As the discussion continues, anytime they involve security out there. I remind you, coming up after the game, stay with us for Granite City Electric's Red Sox final. Ramiro hits the streets to hear from Red Sox Nation. We'll have the latest highlights from around the majors and a preview of tomorrow's matchup between Jeremy Guthrie and John Lester. Granite City Electric's Red Sox final coming up right after the game right here on NESN.
Clearly, Don, something appearing in Paul Schreiber's field of vision. I don't know if the hitter said something to him, but evidently the problem has been resolved. I didn't see, you do see security people moving out there in the center field bleachers, but we're just guessing at what it might be. Maybe somebody flashing some kind of light or laser. Or...
First and third, nobody out. And Papelbon going to work on Aubrey Huff. There's strike 1 to Huff.
You know, Pap's first 8 pitches, 7 have been strikes, but maybe he's been gotten a little bit too much of the zone as he did with Markakis' base hit that put the runners on the corners.
Broken bat pop-up. Lowry puts it away. Out number 1 of the ninth.
Tough night for Aubrey Huff. Four trips to the plate. Didn't get the ball out of the infield. That's a big spot there for Papelbon.
So 1 down, and Nolan Reimold coming up. He's had a big night for the Orioles. 3 hits and 3 tries. And all of that was against Brad Penny.
He's had just one previous bat against Papelbon here. 0 for 1.
Richard Papelbon 24 out of 26, but a lot has been made of how hard they've been this year and how many pitches he's thrown in a lot of his outings.
Well, he's walked a lot more guys this year. Don, I'm wondering if you're Tremblay, and given the Red Sox problems throwing guys out, and certainly Papelbon not known for holding runners, do you put Markakis in motion here?
1-0, foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, a ball and a strike.
And Markakis did have the stolen bag in the first inning. Now with 1-1 count. might be too risky business here.
Jones at third, Markakis at first, 1 out, and a 1-1 pitch to Nolan Reimold. 2-2-1. Papelbon last pitch the day before yesterday at Texas, going an inning.
In a non-safe situation.
Luke Scott waits on deck. Three and one.
Came back with the slider on the 2-1 pitch, just missed outside, trying to get Reimold to bite.
Pitch to Reimold. Fouls it off to the right. 96 on the fastball. Back-to-back base hits allowed by Papelbon to open up this 9th inning to Jones and Markakis. It's Huff to pop out to short. 1 out. They're at the corners for the Orioles. Ball 4. Loads the bases now with 1 out. It was just the first walk given up by Red Sox pitching all night, and it's from the closer. The pinch runner here for the Orioles. For Reimold at first base. Felix P.A. will pinch run.
Full count pitch from Papelbon, not even close. Don fastball way up in the zone. Reimold on base 4 times tonight.
Bases loaded, 1 out, and here comes trouble. Luke Scott, a guy who has had very good success against the Red Sox since the trade for Miguel Tejada to Houston. And here he is with the chance of the bases loaded, 1 out in the 9th. Scott swinging and missing at that high fastball. He has 18 home runs on the season. He's gone 0 for 3 tonight. Jones at third, Markakis at second, P.A. at first. Tried to hold up, could not, goes around, it's 0-2. Ed Rapuano said he offered.
Pitch well out of the zone, but you can see that Scott had committed. Rapuano correctly calling it strike 2.
The 0-2 pitch. Scott strikes out. That's a big strikeout for Papelbon. 2 down.
You know, Don, you've talked about the fact that Paps has pitched this season with 4 men on base, but with the bases loaded, he's been money. He's had 6 plate appearances by opposing hitters. After Scott's punch out there, that's now 0 for 7 with 6 strikeouts. That's pretty impressive.
So 2 down, bases still loaded for the Orioles. And here is Melvin Mora. Ball 1. Warren tonight with a sacrifice fly in the second. Since then, he's lined out and struck out.
He's been a tough out all night, Don. You know, recall he had the 14 pitch at bat against Brad Penny in the second before the sac fly. Just missed with ball. Line drives down both foul lines before punching out against Del Carmen in the seventh.
Drops in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
He buckled Mora with that splitty. I think Mora was geared up for another fastball.
Royals have hung around all night. And now a chance with the bases loaded. With 2 outs in the ninth, trailing by 2. Moore fouls it off, and it's 1-2. Well, he's 7 on that last fastball. Varitek out to talk it over with Papelbon, as this Fenway Park crowd stands as one.
You have to think he may try to elevate here on Mora. 1-2 count, 2 outs.
Mora takes ball 2. They did elevate at 97, but wasn't tantalizing enough for Melvin Mora.
Varitek stayed down in the crouch on that pitch. I was looking for that elevated crouch there that Jason sometimes uses.
Leaders on deck, 2 outs in the ninth. Papelbon with a 2-2. Full count. Everybody will be moving. As he reached back for a little extra, 98 that time. And everybody in motion now with 2 outs, bases loaded for the Orioles. Jones at third, Markakis at second, BA at first. They'll all be off. They struck him out and the Red Sox win. Little drama as things got interesting here in the ninth, but Papelbon comes back to strike out Scott and Mora with the bases loaded to end this game, and the Red Sox back to their winning ways.